إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أحسن الكلام كلام الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة. أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله سبحانه وتعالى ومراقبته في السر والعلن، فإن الله سبحانه وتعالى رأس الأمر كله. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, are we among the people that reflect in Allah's creation? Are we among the ones that see the signs around us? I'll take you on a little journey for the next few seconds. Imagine that you're a bee. You would wake up in the morning and go about your day, move from one flower to the other, pick up nectar from it, until you're full, you're capped out. What do you do when you're done? You turn around and go back to the hive. You hand over what you came across through your trip to other bees. It moves from one bee to the other until it goes to the honeycomb, which is the last resort where it's going to go. Basically a wax house or a bottle that it gets contained in. When the honey comes in, it's kind of wet, so other bees go around it and try to dry it up with their wings. Now, after you're done imagining that you're a bee and doing this nice trip, why would we do this? Why would we imagine? Why would we reflect on this? Do you know that this is an order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us to contemplate and to think and reflect about what Allah gave us and signs around us? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Nahl, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, وأوحى ربك إلى النحل أن اتخذ من الجبال بيوتا ومن الشجر ومما يعرشون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given revelation and guidance to bees to take homes from among mountains, trees, and from that men or people are going to create for you. ثم كلي من كل الثمرات فاسلكي سبل ربك ذللا. Then eat from all fruits, and then take the paths that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to you. يخرج من بطونها شراب مختلف ألوانه فيه شفاء للناس. From their stomach, a drink will come out. Has different colors and has healing and cure to mankind. إن في ذلك لآية what? لقوم يتفكرون. Indeed, through this process, there's signs and ayat for a specific category of people that do what? That use their brains. يتفكرون. That would think about this. Now, why would Allah give us an example of this tiny insect and go through the journey of what they do and how they do things? The process that the bee does, it's very simple. It relies on one important factor. They work as a community. They work collectively to get to one common goal, to make honey. And what is honey? Like what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فِيهِ شِفَاءٌ لِلنَّاسِ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this as a sign for what? For people. Ayah for what? To remember, to ponder on. Just like the bees are a community, we are a community. If we work collectively and together, we will have something that heals others. As Muslims, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us ummah wasata. We're a just nation, in the middle. We can take care of a lot of things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent us guidance. Just as He said, He gave the bees what? Guidance to take care of these things. I could spend the whole day talking about just this process of how the bee takes care of their business and takes care of what they need to do, and the parables and the lessons we learn from it. I'm just going to mention a few of them and focus on two items that I want to make sure I relay the message, inshallah, for all of us. But before doing this, listen to this hadith by the Prophet ﷺ. By the one in whose hand is the soul of Muhammad, peace be upon him, the believer is like a bee. The Prophet ﷺ says, the believer is like a bee, which eats that which is pure and wholesome, and gives that which is pure and wholesome. When it lands on something, it does not break it or ruin it. This is the example that the Prophet ﷺ gives about a bee and how it relates to what we should do. So here are the few lessons that I wanted to mention. Bees eat pure and wholesome. Do you know if a bee went out to a flower and it smelled the scent of another bee that was nearby or used the same flower, it will not use that flower. It will move on to the next. They only go to what's pure and wholesome. And you know that they get the nectar, but what do they give out? Even better. They give out honey. What else do we know about bees? Bees are very busy. They're always doing things. They say busy as a bee. We have someone that's running a lot faster than others. They say busy as a bee. So bees are always busy taking care of things. They have a great sense of pride and community. Each bee has a specific responsibility in what they do, and they work collectively, not against each other. They share a common goal. They come together. They don't go against each other. The two that I want to focus on, they give more than they take. We know that bees take nectar out of the flowers, right? But they give flowers much more. They take pollen and they spread it all over. Without this, the continuation of this is not going to happen. The flower is not going to happen. This is critical to the livelihood of everything else around it. So they take just a little bit of nectar, but they spread pollen everywhere. They do not harm the flower. Even though they get what they need, they do not harm the flower. Picture this. The flower and the bee. Which one is heavier? If the bee is sitting on a pebble of the flower, it's going to break it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided that bee. You're not going to step on that. You're going to hover over it. So you don't put your full weight on that flower. You get what you need, but you don't break it. The Prophet ﷺ said what? When it lands on something, it doesn't break it or ruin it. So these are few items, and I just focused on two. In the second part of the khutbah, inshallah, we'll talk briefly about how we can learn from the bee, just like the Prophet ﷺ asked us, and implement this in something that will be practical that we can do. May Allah bless you and me with the ability to implement the Holy Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. I say this and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us forgiveness. Supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, for He is the most forgiving and most merciful. Astaghfirullah wa adu'uhu wa antum muqinuna bil-ijaba. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. Amma ba'd. As we mentioned earlier, the beginning part of the khutbah, about the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and I'll repeat it again, just to make sure it's clear to all of us. The believer is like a bee, which eats that which is pure and wholesome, and gives that which is pure and wholesome. When it lands on something, it does not break it or ruin it. Are we among the people who reflect and ponder about Allah's creation, just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us? Are we, like the Prophet ﷺ said, like a bee? In the beginning I said, imagine yourself a bee and go on the trip that the bee did. Now get yourself out of it and think about the 5 things that I mentioned. I'll focus on 2. And each one of us need to ask themselves these questions. What does the bee do? They give more than they take. Do we give more than we take? With your spouses, with your children, with your co-workers, with your boss, with your community, with your neighbors. Do we give more than we take? You answer that question by yourself. Do we leave the place better than what it was? Just like the bee does? Hear the paper towel in the bathroom? How many of you go to the bathroom and see paper towel all over the place? How many of you see the sink all wet? Are you one of those who will get another paper towel and wipe things clean? So you leave it better than where you found it? Or are you one of the ones that look up and turn around? I didn't see it. I didn't do it. I'm leaving. When you see trash on the floor, do you pretend you didn't see it and walk away? Or do you clean it to make sure you left the place better than what you found it? Do we harm things around us or people around us? I want something from you. I got a business deal with you. I'll talk very nicely to you. As soon as you turn around and leave, do you know that guy? You start backbiting him. You start talking bad about them. Your spouse does something nice to you at home. You turn around and complain about it. Are we that kind of people? Sometimes. But hopefully not all the time. Today's khutbah is simply about relationships. Our relationship to others, our relationship to our peers, our relationship to our community, our relationship to others around us. As a practical application for this simple insight that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us to ponder on, I'll leave you with 2 things that you do today. Before you go and ask someone anything, you're going to go home, ask your spouse to cook for you. You're going to go home and ask your friend to do something. Think in your head, what am I going to give back? What am I going to give them in return? Is it going to be more than what they're going to give me? Even if it's just a thank you, you've given something back. A simple thank you would take care of it. So that's task 1. Task 2, do you leave the place better than what it was? Do that today. If you go to a place and it's not clean, or it needs to be taken care of, or anything that needs to be addressed, go ahead and do it. Leave the place better than what you found it. To add to this, you all know the issues we've been having with our neighbors here at the center. With the parking situation, with all the things that are happening, little things that are happening. Do you know who's responsible for this? Every single one of us. You know who's to blame? Islam. Because that's what they say. See what the Muslims do? They trash the place. See what the Muslims do? They park all over the place. See what the Muslims do? They block people. This is all about relationship. This is all about da'wah. This is all about us. It's upon us to make sure we change any image, any negative image they have about Muslims. We have to take this on our shoulder and take care of it. It's not someone else. You know, I'm just the only one that's going to park here. Nobody's going to notice. I'm the only one. Well, you know what? You dropped something. I'm the only one who dropped it. No, it's not a big deal. It's on every single one of us. It's our collective responsibility as what? As a community, as the bees. So my only comment today for you is, be like the bee. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us, inshallah, Rabbi, forgive our shortcomings, inshallah. قل يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم اللهم إنك قلت وقولك الحق إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا وسلموا عليه تسليما كثيرا اللهم بارك لنا فيما أعطيت واهدنا فيما هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا اللهم ارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين واشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واهد على يدينا واجعلنا من المهديين اللهم إنا نسألك بخير ما سألك منه عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ منه عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وآخر دعواهم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد.